Coming back from the break, it's called the Business to Business Network Show. My name is Rex Perry. I'm the host and creator of the show, and if you're just turning on your radio, we talk business, politics, and economics, and most of the time we talk real estate because real estate pulls in so many different industries, and that brings us to Ray. Give us your last name, introduce yourself, please.
Ray Jones, Audio Video 360.
And Alex again?
Yep, Alexander Pruitt, owner of Living Arizona Real Estate Group.
And Jason?
Jason Predovich, First Integrity Title.
Now, we're going to talk about security systems because this is kind of an interesting issue. Tell us what you're seeing, especially in this real estate transaction. You go out there. Tell us what you're seeing out there.
Sure. So what we've developed is a smart home assessment program for sellers and for buyers, just to be able to go into properties and define the state of what's going on in the home as far as, is it smart or is it dumb, right? Right. And because all systems aren't created equal and all users aren't created equal, right? So what we do is we offer a home assessment program where we come in at different price points, different scopes to assess, right, evaluate where the home is at and bring everything to the forefront so that it can be disclosed, right, during that transaction. If there's any needs, right, of the system to be updated, taken care of, or whatever. The other thing that we've been working with Jason and his team on is like, hey, what can we do if both parties decide that we want this as is? How do we remove that liability from the broker's side, either side of the transaction? So we're developing a waiver program, right, for the smart home assessments. And
describe some of these, because really this technology, what year did they start developing these smart home, quote, smart homes?
Sure. It's been around, really started coming to the forefront in the 90s. And so what we're seeing today, even as recent as last week, I was on a project where they had a heavy investment in a lighting control system that is completely obsolete. The current homeowner, who in her 70s, is selling the home. She's been piecemealing the lighting control system together for a decade now by buying parts that are used on eBay and trying to figure out how to program it. So they did the right thing. The realtor did the right thing and said, hey, we need to have an assessment done on the house. This is out of the scope of a standard inspection. Right? This is in the AV space. And so we came out there. We verified, this is completely out of date. There's nothing going to happen here. So we provided the seller a quote to have it updated. Ended up being $26,000.
Oh, wow.
Right? So what we're seeing, right, is that a lot of transactions, agents and brokers are just turning a blind eye to it because they don't understand it. And so we're trying to be a good partner and say, hey, let us help you out with this. Now, what's going on in this transaction is, with the way the market is today, is the seller, right, is using that as a tool in negotiating. So is the buyer, like, hey, who's going to pay for this? What are we going to do with the pricing? Is it going to be to code? Like all these things. So there's really a consumer affairs issue that kind of goes along with this, right? And so that's why we came up with the program, and we have some great brokers we're working with today, as well as Jason and his title company. So.
And Alex, the rule, disclose.
Absolutely.
And you would get everything on the table. Explain that from a realtor standpoint, how that happens, because sometimes there's surprises. Explain about that.
Yeah, how that happens is when you're selling your house, you fill out something called the Seller's Property Disclosure Statement, often referred to as the SPUDS, right? It's an easy document. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but you fill it out. You tell them everything that you know about the house, and this is a great time to where, what he said is really true. This is getting overlooked. Like, realtors are turning a blind eye.
The seller may not even know.
Right, yeah. So that's where I think it takes the responsibility of a realtor to get educated, with people listening to a radio show like this, because they could get themselves in real hot water because...
by accident.
Exactly right? They could be very good intention, right? But filling out the seller's disclosure form is key. In order to do that properly would be to get some sort of an evaluation to see if your home is smart or is it dumb, right? And that way you avoid the pitfalls of a deal falling through because there's so much confusion. Many real estate agents will just say, oh, yeah, it's a smart home system. It's a little older, but yeah, it's cool. The home inspector, like he said, is not going to check that out. They are not going to tell you if it's working or not. So this is actually a very important talking point in the way technology is evolving over the years with smart home systems.
Excellent. And how are you pulling the paperwork together? This is interesting because you're on cutting edge right here.
For sure. And I mean, that's the most important part of our job is when we do get these contracts, we double check everything, make sure both parties see the disclosures, even if they're going to add addendums to it, that everything's signed, approved, and everyone agrees on both situations. So
and talk about there is potential for waiver.
For sure. I mean, it everything's a contract, right?
Yeah.
So it's all negotiation. So the strongest agent's going to win in the negotiations. And when we talked about this the last episode that we talked about, this is a huge opening that I didn't even realize that was going on in the market.
None of us did.
So for me as a title person, we do a ton of continuing education and just kind of get the word out there to help agents, because They don't know.
Yeah.
And this gets slipped through the cracks, and now they're liable for $26,000. Who wants that?
Yeah, when it's disclosed, it's negotiated, and then you get the proper paperwork with all the signatures, and we're fine. But what's happened is, by the way, I've been doing this show since 1999. This is the first time we've ever had this conversation, because what's happening is that company in the 90s, early 2000s, they're out of business, and you can't get parts.
Correct.
You can't fix it. So what do you do? How do you go? What do you, help us?
It's Pandora's box,
Yeah.
and everybody out there, you're welcome.
I know.
right? Because it is a real issue. From the buyer's perspective, mostly, the broker's liability is massive. I don't even think they realize it, and not just say from something that's dated. So let's say we do a transaction, okay, and it's a true smart home. Say it's Crestron, Control 4, what have you.
Are these wireless?
It's gonna be a combination.
Combination.
Okay, because infrastructure is key, but wireless doesn't mean technically wireless is
Completely.
Okay.
Got it.
So let's say it's a $100,000 system, $50,000 system, even $25,000 system. Look at a home from $500,000 to $5 million.
Sure.
Right? Doesn't matter. Okay. There is still a cost to the new buyer to transfer all that smart home technology in their name. Okay. But also that home was programmed to the seller's custom, how they
Technology.
want it. Exactly. That new buyer might not want it that way, right? Like lights come at 6 a.m. They want them on at 8 a.m., right? So there is a cost that's not being disclosed to that new buyer, which that's not okay.
Yeah. And so, again, disclosure, you put it on the table, you get an expert, and the home inspector. By the way, the home inspector might alert everybody, hey, there's a security system here. There's something here that I'm not expert on. Hopefully they're doing that. And then you can pull in the experts. A lot of times, even inspections, they'll pull in a roofing contractor to pull up the tiles and try to check the underlayment. Or if it's a pool business, by the way, we're sponsored by Budget Pools. Budget Pools is our sponsor. Anyway, got to keep mentioning them. With the breaks, we get a 30-second commercial with Budget Pools. But that's the key. Pull the experts in once you have the disclosure. We've got about 2 minutes here. Yes, please.
Sure. So what we've done to be a good partner so everybody wins is we have a few packages that the broker or the homeowner, right, the seller, the buyer, whatever can choose. It can be like, hey, just kind of give me a brief evaluation, okay? Let's go to the next level evaluation where we're maybe doing some button presses to verify what's working, what's not working. Hey, let's do a full reverse engineered evaluation so we can actually see how old the gear is, all model serial numbers, the functionality. Is stuff still available? Is it still supported? Right. So we have options for all sides of that transaction.
Let's get a phone number. How can people reach you to get those options?
Yep. Ray Jones, Audio Video 360, 623-337-1234.
One more time.
623-337-1234.
Alex.
Yep. Alexander Pruitt, 520-237-8411. 520-237-8411.
And Jason, the guy that puts everybody together here.
Jason Predovich, 602-410-3541. 602-410-3541.
The reason we do it twice is if anybody ever driving down the road hear a really good interview and they give the phone number once and you're going, dang, and then we get calls here saying, wait, and the receptionist going, now, when was this? When did you hear that? We're trying to put it together. So thank you all for coming down. Guys, it's the bottom of the hour. We got a break for the news. Please, everybody, stay tuned. It's called the Business to Business Network Show. And if you want more information, you can go to our website, 123bz.com. 123, the numbers 123, B as in business, Z as in zebra.com. Find my information. I'll connect you. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be back after the news.